Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined here by a very happy man at STN Sports. Paul Reddy, how are you, mate?
Very well, mate. How are you? How was your festivities last night?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. It was all right. What about yourself?
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, like we watched the England game. It was terrible result, but no, it's nice just to relax with Collar and stuff. So yeah, it was all good.
Of course, mate. Let's go into it. Rhiannon with quite a routine victory, showcasing her skill, showcasing her ability. I imagine you guys are buzzing. Back out on another matchroom show. Just want to keep the progression moving forward now, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely. I think people need to remember that female fighters can move quick, but obviously Rhiannon, it's important for her to have these key learning fights. We're not in a massive rush to get to a world title, so look, more opponents. I thought the opponent was perfect for her. Her performance was perfect. She's disappointing because she didn't stop her, but I'm pleased she got the rounds in against an experienced opponent.
It's almost like with Sky Nicholson and a lot of these other girls as well. They can have all the talent in the world, but at the start, when you're fighting in these 2-minute rounds, the stoppages aren't always going to come, and you've almost got to like take a little bit of that pressure off yourself.
Exactly that, and I think when she watches it back and she sees how she performed, you know, her jab was beautiful. She was landing some really good shots. When she was folded in, there was a shot they'd worked on that they wanted to try and catch her with an uppercut. It was hard to get because she was a bit messy and trying to survive after Rhiannon touched her. But no, it was good. Really pleased.
Let's talk a little bit about Callum Smith. I interviewed Smith-Buatsi on Friday night. Smith-Buatsi told me that not an offer as such, but the idea of the Callum Smith fight has been proposed to him. Obviously everything with Pascal fell through. They didn't want to put VADA testing in the contract, is what we're being told. So on your terms, where are, you know, Buatsi said he doesn't mind the fight, but he can't understand why Callum would take it. You manage Callum with STN?
No, Callum manages himself. Part of the team. Callum Smith's the boss. He manages himself. It's a fight that I know Eddie likes. I think he said on camera before he's a fan of that fight. It's not a fight on our radar at the minute. And from speaking to Josh, it's not a fight that, again, Josh himself managed. It's not a fight that I believe Josh wants himself either. Look, there is a bit of a logjam with the belts. Look, we're in a Callum Smith business over here. Callum wants to fight Beterbiev. There's a WBC convention coming up. We're going to be putting a lot of pressure on them. Emails have gone over already. Callum wants to fight for the WBC title. So that's kind of where we're at.
I went and visited Callum. I can't remember when it was now, but obviously he had that fight on the first Joshua Usyk card, and then he was expecting to be out against that Border Elite quicker than he was. Obviously it ended up then being on the rematch card. One thing for him is that, and this isn't on you or anyone, but he does get like frustrated with that inactivity, and if that Beterbiev fight can't be made, do you then start having to sort of take that Smith-Buatsi fight more seriously and these other fights? Because obviously Yard's adamant that he's getting Buatsi next. That's what the team at Warren are saying. Where do you go with that Beterbiev fight? Because it almost seems like everyone's due a shot at Beterbiev.
Yeah, of course, and that's where, look, there is, I call it the carousel of governing bodies. So look, you know, we're in line, Yard's in line. And obviously, I can't speak for Buatsi's team, but you know, I know he's high with the WBA as well. So yeah, it's a case of getting that. Look, that is Smith-Buatsi is a massive fight if there's a world title. It makes no sense for either guy. That's kind of where it is, and that's, you know, Josh and I have had that conversation in the past week. I didn't bring him up to say, "Oh, did you say this?" Like we speak, you know, we're friends, we speak often. So yeah, it's for us. I agree with you on the activity. He does need to be more active. He's got a very young family. He's got a young son, so I know that Callum's in a position where he can pick and choose when he fights, but his goal is to be a world champion. He's achieved everything in the sport. Financially, he's in an incredible place. He's got a beautiful family, and he's probably one of the most driven fighters that I'm fortunate to work with, because he wants to win a world title, and he won't rest until he gets his shot.
I asked Eddie about that fight this week, and I said, who's the A side in that fight? Because personally, I would say Callum. Obviously, he's a former world champion, but Eddie didn't give me a definitive answer. I imagine you would say that if that fight with Buatsi was made, that Callum was obviously the A.
Yeah, I think people can split hairs over that stuff too much. That Callum is. Josh hasn't won a world title yet. Callum has won a world title, albeit at a different weight class. Callum Smith's a big name. He's world boxing super series champion. It is, you know, if it was to ever happen, it's Smith-Buatsi. The only person that it would be v Smith is if it's a world title and Callum's challenging. Yeah, it would be Smith, but like I say, it's not that.
Finally from me, Dalton Smith, Casey Benjamin has been, I think, boxer, won the purse bids for that fight. Will he take that fight, Dalton Smith?
Yeah, of course, yeah, why not? I mean, look, he won the British title not just to win it and drop it. Look, obviously it's disappointing that Matchroom didn't win the purse bid. We just sat with Eddie there, and Dalton come with us and watch when we watched the fight. But no, Dalton would be taking that fight. Yeah, it's Grant there, grab him. But
I can't now, actually. Don't do him.
But no, look, Dalton wants to win the British title outright. So yeah, that fight will happen. We'll leave it to the to Boxer to kind of announce that, but no, there was never a case of because Eddie didn't win the purse bid that we were going to step aside. It's again managed Dalton. Sean advises him. Sean and Grant are kind of leading the charge there on that, and yeah, they were adamant that they wanted to take this fight, so this happened.
Cool, top man, thank you very much. I remember I was asking you about a year and a half ago if I could get accreditation for Joshua Usyk, the first fight, so here we are. Just a final message?
Yeah. No, thanks for everyone that supported Rhiannon this week. Getting her back out in December, keep her nice and active, and stay tuned for Sky Nicholson in Australia in 3 weeks.
Top man, cheers.